Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Brian Leonard and Kevin Dolan of WagerTalk.com. We're talking a little ACC, SEC action here as we get NC State and Mississippi State. Brian, coming to you first. We're seeing NC State, the Wolfpack, minus 2.5-point road favorites, 55.5 being the total. NC State, the team that looked really good week one. Mississippi State, I don't know if I'd say look really good, but could they bounce back here week two as the short home dog, Brian?
Yeah, NC State was really good to us last week. That was one of my winners. And I like this NC State team, but by the way the lines are moving, it looks like everybody else likes them too. Mississippi State opened this game 1, and now NC State's laying 2.5. And I'm even seeing, in a couple places, heavy juice on the 2.5. So it looks like it's going to 3. And if it does go to 3, I may be a buyer on Mississippi State. I only made them 1. And it's interesting, because we've got an SEC team, and that is not Vanderbilt, by the way. Vanderbilt loses to an FCS school last week, and it didn't really surprise a lot of people. But Mississippi State has been very good in non-conference games. SEC has been very good in non-conference games, and now you're getting them at home, catching what could be a field goal pretty soon against a team that's catching a lot of money, a lot of love in NC State. I think by the end of the week here, I may be on this Mississippi State team. Mike Leach, originally, for basically his entire career, has been a guy I wanted to bet on. He pulls up a lot of shockers, but teams and people seem to be losing a lot of faith in him. Last year, they were only 4-7 overall his first year here in Mississippi State. But I can't get over the SEC team not being Vanderbilt, being a home underdog here. I like the NC State, but the numbers passed me, and now I got to start looking at the other side. Mississippi State playing at home.
Bet numbers, not teams, important part there. And Kevin, coming to you next. Brian makes some good points. Maybe an ugly home dog here in Mississippi State, Starkville, primetime ESPN2 game. What are you interested in betting?
It is hard for me, yeah. I mean, I get all the reasons, having the SEC dog at home, but it's just NC State looks so good. They absolutely blew the doors off South Florida last weekend. 293 on the ground, 232 through the air. Not one but 200-yard rushers in that game as well. And, the first time they've actually held an FBS opponent scoreless in almost a decade. So they'll obviously come into this one with a ton of momentum come Saturday. And that's not even a surprise, to be honest. 20 returning starters for the Wolfpack, including 10 on defense. This team came into the season humming. And honestly, as good as Mississippi State are, I think getting this Wolfpack team at under a field goal here, 3 is that key number. Possibly the side I'd be more leaning towards. Going back to last season, the Wolfpack finished off the year holding Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, just 4.7 yards per play, which is one of the best averages in the country overall for 3 games. You would expect, obviously, as Brian said, by the same token, for Mississippi State to bounce back in this one. We always know how tough SEC teams are traditionally at home. And, even though the Bulldogs won last week, they needed that huge fourth quarter comeback in which to do so. And honestly, they simply can't afford to get into that same type of hole here against a motivated NC State team on Saturday. La Tech averaged over 4 yards per rush attempt against the Bulldogs last week. No question in my mind that the Wolfpack are a much better rushing team offensively between those two. So I do expect NC State to find success on the ground here. Mississippi State showed a bit of, one-dimensionalism last week, you could say, as they kept going through the air. And I think they'll be punished if they do that again here. It's got to be NC State for me at this number. If it gets to 3, maybe we sit back and have another look at it. But, I do think it'll be close. I think it'll be competitive. But I would expect the Wolfpack actually to win this by 5-6, maybe up to a touchdown. But, yeah, if I'm playing a side, it's going to be NC State in this one.
All right, looking towards the Wolfpack, guys. And heck, Saturday night, a jam-packed college football slate. So hope you enjoy the games. And also make sure to check out WagerTalk.com, the live odds screen, guys. You heard both Brian and Kevin talk about it, getting good numbers. That's the place to do it. Best free odds in the business. WagerTalk.com.